Well, I would probably tell my story about how I almost never went. It was recommended to us casually by some folks we know down here. And when we arrived at the show, we learned there was an $8 admission fee. And I said to Gayle, do you really think it's worth it? Like, if I have to spend $8 to go and look at art? And we were having this conversation at the front desk, and the lady behind the desk, very politely, but very firmly said, oh, you'll find this well worth it. And I think we spent, I forget how many thousands of dollars that afternoon. That's how much it was worth it. It was the best $8 investment of my life.
Well, for me, it's seeing the large variety of work available, and it's such a sort of a joyful and beautiful thing to walk through the show, through the tents, and see all the artists, and particularly to see them at work. That's really important, because I'm not an artist. I can't imagine how somebody could be an artist, but to actually see them find detailing or whatever on their work is great. And then more importantly is to actually meet the artist, and particularly if it's a work that we're drawn to.
Gayle and I both love history, and military history in particular, and when we bought our home here 3 years ago, we thought we really wanted to understand the 19th century history of the Arizona Territory, which we haven't been able to do yet, but anything to do with the historical background of Arizona really mattered to us, and we wanted to have the Apaches represented in some important way. These are the Apaches, one of the most admired works of all of the wonderful art we have in our home. We had got the idea from a Library of Congress photograph of Geronimo and his family. This photograph was taken in 1886, and while we thought Geronimo was pretty cool, we thought his family, because they were more obscure, were kind of even cooler. So we left Geronimo out and commissioned Richard Mitchell, who's a wonderful artist we met at the celebration, to recreate these Apaches for us, and he did this marvelous job. And the level of detail has just blown us away, right down to the weaponry, which I am interested in, couldn't really understand from the photo. It's vivid in the representation by Richard, and we just love the expressions, how he's captured the essence, I think, of the Apache, particularly at that point in history.
Some of my favorite work that I saw and was most attracted to because of the vividness and the sort of iconographic quality was Rob Stenberg's work. So we commissioned him to do these two pieces, the warrior, and the other one is the shaman, for our great room. And we think he just did a great job with both of them. He has a very distinct style. It's not like any other artwork we saw at the Celebration of Fine Art show. So there's a special energy that Rob brings to his work. And for us, these pieces are very special because they represent both healing and protection for our home. So it really grounds our home in sort of First Nations, Arizona tradition, and just brings kind of a blessing on our home. So we're very, very privileged to have these works in our home. I just felt when I saw his work, it just was representative of the kind of energy, the strength, the endurance, the courage, and the wisdom of the native people here. So I really wanted something of his work in our home, and just to have it in the space where we're kind of living the most is really wonderful.
This wonderful sculpture was one of the very first pieces of art we bought for our home. It was created by a man named Michael Jones. We've gone on to buy several other pieces of his work. We thought it represented a real iconic southwestern ancient piece that really combined the elements and a lot of interesting shapes and sizes.
This work, I know for Mary and Joe, is very meaningful. They make every little bit of this art themselves, even down to the glass blowing. They're gilding the jawbones of whatever animals that they've been collecting, and the metalwork they've done, actually designing the pattern that goes in. And this piece really has a lot of symbolism in it as well.
One of the things we love most about Celebration of Art, and I think it's probably quite unique, is that the artists often come to our home, in most cases come to our home to actually install the work. So that not only gives you a chance to bond more with the artist, but to get their excellent perspectives on where to actually hand something. And sometimes we haven't always got the best idea. And so the artist can really help plus that. So that's something really special as well.
One of the things that is both for Graham and I, it's a very instinctive pull. It's almost like a magnetic pull to a piece of art when we see it. And we circle around it a little bit and sort of confirm to ourselves or validate that we're really interested in that piece, that we like it, we both like it. And hopefully the artist is there right there so that we can meet them. Sometimes they're even working on a piece of art. So it's very wonderful to see them actually in the process of creation of their beautiful work of art.